Are you having issues getting it up? Do you ever wonder if your premature boosting will stop? Do you feel the respect of your peers leaving? Hi, I'm Dan the developer, and you're going to go bananas for this. Introducing Subluminal Somewhat Polished, an indie game made by yours truly. Now, there's a game that fills in the hole created by the disappointing human husk we've all become. And don't just take my word for it, listen to these totally real and satisfied individuals.
After I started playing the somewhat polished Subluminal, my peers treat me with respect.
Finally, with the somewhat polished Subluminal, my partner and I haven't had any performance issues. Our sessions are getting longer, and frankly, it just feels better.
For only a price of free with no shipping or handling, you can try out the somewhat polished Subluminal today. And that's not all. If you get it today, I'll throw in 2 more for the price of 1. That's 3 times more downloads for the same price. Download now. And you might say, but Dan, who cares? Me, I care. Let me have this. Subluminal is a precision platform racing game where you have 6 degrees of freedom of movement to get from point A to point B. I'd like to take a second here and remind everyone, this is not Rocket League. This game is called Subluminal. All around the world, there are people hurting from this mix-up. It takes all of us to stop saying these hurtful statements. You can boost to fly up in the air, or just get a little extra kick of speed on the ground. You can also flip to cancel your momentum in certain axes while turning up the speed to 11 in the direction you flip to, all the while driving in any kind of orientation imaginable.
So let me get this straight. So you can drive a car.
Yes.
And you can boost.
Yeah.
And you can jump and flip.
Yes.
And you can freely rotate.
Yes.
Dude, you're bugging. This sounds exactly like Rocket League.
You know, I don't need this, man. I really don't. The goal in Subluminal is to get across the track in the fastest time possible by utilizing your maneuvering abilities in the environment around you. There's skills such as gravity slingshots, flip cancels, and car control that can get pretty complex, to name a few. And I'm saddened to say that after 4 years, you can now try a playtest of the game. It only took me giving up all of my social life, switching careers, and absolute naiveness to achieve. A small price to pay, of course. There's this famous saying that goes, quote, the first 90% of the code accounts for the first 90% of the development time. The remaining 10% of the code accounts for the other 90% of the development time. End quote. If we define that a polished phase starts when someone says, I'm almost done, then we can say that Subluminal has been in this polished phase for 3 years. I've learned that without proper foresight and experience, you don't really understand how far away you are from the goal until you consistently start trying to get there. Hell, at one point during development, Subluminal had a functioning multiplayer experience. At the start, I didn't realize how lofty of a goal that was. Once the code was in a playable state, I was drilling down into packet losses, syncing issues, real-time physics replications, authority levels, and all of these extra necessities that went way over my head when I first started. And unfortunately, I had to drop it. That was a whole year's worth of work down the drain. I wasn't satisfied with the experience, and the code that went into it needed to be heavily redesigned to improve it. Part of the polish phase is to remove unnecessary parts of the code base, or dead code even. Things like old maps, old cars, old ideas, anything that wasn't fleshed out needs to go away to give the sense of a complete product. It's kind of like if you bake a cake and half of it is edible and the other half has mold on it. Can't exactly give that to someone. I mean, you can, but I don't think they'd be too happy about it. Ultimately though, all journeys come to an end, and Subluminal is getting ready to be put to rest. I'm ready to put down my special needs project.
Alfalfa for the rabbits.
The rabbits.
And I get the tender rabbit.
But wait just a second. I'm adding a full spectrum of levels and a global leaderboard to showcase the fastest, most skillful players. I'm banking on at least one speedrunner liking Subluminal. I'd be satisfied if I could at least make one person happy. Maybe that could be you.